Hello and welcome to this update on the H-1B lottery. We recently received some additional information on how duplicate registrations are going to be handled. If you subscribe to our channel, you likely saw our video a few months ago talking about how duplicate registrations will be handled differently this year. What happened is the rule change led to a number of questions, and the answers that we got recently are slightly complicated. So in this video, we're going to show you some visuals so that you can understand how this is going to work. So if you look at this first visual, this is how it used to be handled. If you had companies A, B, C, and D, each registering for the same individual, those registrations each flowed through, and this person had 4 chances to be selected in the lottery, or in other words, 4 times the chances of being selected as somebody who only had one company filing their registration. This was seen as unfair, and so now this rule change is going to make it so that the registration is tied to the individual. So if you look at this next visual, this is how it's going to be handled. Companies A, B, C, and D, or all the way through Z, could file registrations for this individual, and it will count as one registration because it's tied to the individual. So then the question came up, well, let's say this person is selected for the lottery, their registration is picked, which company benefits from that? And the answer is any one of them can. And so what happens at this point, if that person's registration is selected, is the candidate can make a decision. They can decide to inform companies B, C, and D that they intend to go with company A and let those companies off the hook at that point, have company A file their H-1B application. What's more likely to happen is that that candidate may say, well, you know what, I think I want all 4 companies to file for my H-1B because if I go with one company and that case is denied for some reason, I could be in some trouble. So I'm going to have companies A, B, C, and D all file an H-1B for me. And at that point, then I'll make a decision on who I'm going with. So the clear beneficiary of this rule change is the individual whose registration is selected, because then they have the opportunity to make a decision on which company to go with. The potential loser on this rule change are the companies, because they are not made aware of each other. They don't know that other companies have registered for this individual unless the individual tells them. So companies A, B, C, and D could all pay an attorney to file the paperwork to get the H-1B approved, and then in the end have the person not accept their offer of employment and go with a different company. So in this case, the company loses because not only do they lose their candidate, but they also lose out on the money they spent to file the case. Another potential winner, you could say, are the law firms that end up filing some additional cases that they otherwise would not have filed. So it's an interesting update. We'll see how it's handled. I think this H-1B lottery is going to be very interesting. We'll see how this affects the overall number of registrations. The chances of a second lottery are probably pretty low, because duplicates should go way down this year, but it bears watching. It'll be interesting. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe so you get these updates, and we'll see you next time.